Hello, warriors. Welcome to the U Movement. I am B, and it is March 1st. Ooh, and that energy is coming in nice today. We've got a beautiful sunshine. It is warm. It feels like spring, even though we've got 20 days more to go before the first day of spring arrives. And wow. Rebirth is happening. It's amazing how dramatic a shift I have felt in the last week. It's been an intense week of death and rebirth happening on this journey. I've talked a lot about the spiritual awakening path as being difficult and having very rough stuff that you go through from the time that I first started my spiritual awakening in December of 2019 when I was very ill to when I had my Kundalini in September of 2022. I'm losing track of time here now, the stuff that's behind me, at which point I started the Unfuckening Movement, bringing to you my weight loss story, my healing story, because I still, it took a long time for me to integrate and figure out what the heck was happening to me. I didn't even know when I had the Kundalini, well, I did know what a Kundalini was, but I certainly didn't know that's what was occurring while it was occurring. It was moments of bliss that led to moments of absolute tears. I was bawling, crying a couple hours after it as reality went through a major shift and changed. And that was all brought about by a twin flame situationship that is, unless you're on that journey, you have no idea. It is not a romance. It is a healing journey. It is your awakening being triggered and accelerated into healing at insane speeds. The cycle of which stuff is coming up and being processed is every couple of days. So for the last, I guess, almost 3 years, I've been in a state of basic isolation, of lockdown, of healing, of doing all the things that I needed to do to heal myself on the physical. And you've seen the pictures, the changes and the shifts in the physical are astronomical, as well as I started shifting things in the physical, the things in the emotional realm started to surface and come out, and repressed memories that were horrific, and all kinds of trauma surfacing one after another. It's not like you have control over these things. The stuff that's locked in your body needs to be escaped somehow. And then in that process is identifying all the mental, cognitive, behavioral thinking, the habits, the thoughts, the self-loathing, the negative self-talk, the inner critic, all of that stuff. And then finally aligning with soul and coming out of the spiritual closet and doing crazy things like light language and channeling and oracle reads and having other totally wackadoodle experiences that you just overwhelming. And I talk a lot about how the first year of my awakening after my Kundalini was the year of grief, the year of the tear. And man, did I cry. I cried and I cried and I cried my entire body weight worth of tears. If I had known I was going to cry that much, I would have bought bottles and sold those suckers. Guys, oh my God, did I cry. And you just kind of get used to it. After a while, you just kind of are like, okay, I'm crying again. Here I go. There was a lot of PTSD that started that first year as I had cut off relations with very toxic individuals, one of which was my mother. And that caused me, it was so codependent, that relationship, and so dysfunctional. And I had tried to hold on as long as I possibly could. But when she said and went too far, she went too far and said I was unlovable, I was a difficult person to love, I was incapable, and she started down a laundry list of things, and I hung up the phone. And when I hung up the phone, I didn't speak to her again until a couple weeks before she passed away. that was highly traumatic experience for me. So that's when PTSD started. So then I was dealing with grief as well as PTSD, and as well as going into like clearly a dark night of the soul, and lost friends left, right, and center as things were no longer in alignment and resonating. And then went on further to starting of last year. I had the year of terror. The year of absolute terror has been the last 12 months. And I'm still piecing together the pieces from that explosive situation that had first led me down almost into a state of psychosis, like the break from reality, the not understanding what was happening, the information that was coming in. It was beyond overwhelming. And so I've spent the last 12 months trying to get myself out of this darkness, this absolute pit of spiritual crises and spiritual emergencies and burnout, as well as things happening in my 3D realm that I couldn't wrap my head around for the longest time, and trying to extricate myself and escape from a very bad marriage to a very bad person who had successfully managed to mentally mess with my mind for so many years that I couldn't even see up from down and right from left. And getting out of that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. It took a total of 4 years in stages to get out of that trauma bond. And if you don't know the term trauma bond, please go check out Dr. Romani on YouTube and start watching some of her videos on trauma bonds and narcissism and, you know, the legacy that being raised by a narcissist, it oftentimes you go off and perpetuate that again in your romantic relationships, replaying out some sort of weird, dysfunctional, toxic, unhealthy, evil paradigm. To release that took time. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of work beyond what you can possibly imagine. So this last year has been insanity. So bringing in March 1st with a relatively clear head and peace and a feeling of safety for the first time in a very, very, very long time, it is an awesome vibe. So I wanted to hop on and share with you that there has been a shift. I don't know if you checked out yesterday's Oracle read. I highly recommend, if you do, to go on and see what kind of energies are coming in. I think I'll do another Oracle read coming up. If you guys would like that, let me know. And let's see what the future is bringing in energetically for us, because I know a lot of people are just starting on their spiritual awakening and just starting to address a lot of the things that I was starting to address 4 years ago in regards to diet, in regards to exercise, in regards to getting the physical form back into a state of health and wellness. And the best way to do that is to focus on the body first. On this spiritual quest, whatever type of healing journey that has started for you, whether it be a twin flame situationship. And on that note, I said in my last video how incredibly grateful I feel for that experience. And it took a long time to get to a place of gratitude. Because you're like, what is happening? The confusion, the doubt, the traumas being released, the emotions that are coming up. A spiritual awakening is not fun. And when it's connected to a person and you're like, I cannot stop thinking about this person. It is a clusterfuck extraordinaire of a healing, an accelerated healing path. And now that I'm sitting in an energy of a lot less ego, a lot less wounds, a lot less grief, a lot less trauma bonds and toxic situations, and a lot less weight and everything else, I'm like, oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming into my life and knocking me upside the head with the fry pan. I needed that. So I guess in a lot of ways, the twin flame situationship is what you need, not what you want. It propels you, as well as the Kundalini propels your healing. And wow, it's astronomical like, I haven't up until today been able to like sit and go, holy majoli, even though people have been telling me for months and months and months that what I've managed to accomplish is unbelievable. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not done yet. Yeah, but I'm not done yet. Yeah, it's not enough. It's not enough. I'm not free. And now that I'm finally free and divorce papers have been signed, waiting for them to get processed through the courts that will take another 7 months, and things are starting to happen in my life in weird and wonderful, miraculous ways, I am just like so grateful. I am so grateful for the accelerated healing. It's not something I would have wanted, and it's not, my soul did, my ego did not. It's not something I would have wanted. It's not something that was particularly enjoyable, a process, but sitting here today in a little bit of a more grounded energy, out feeling connection, feeling gratitude, feeling the miracles starting to show themselves right before my very eyes is a wonderful place to be in. So I am hopeful. I am hopeful. I am grateful. I am present. I am in service. And I am in mission. And my mission is to help anybody else that's going through what I just went through for the last 4 years get through it. And in keeping with my philosophies that I've always struggled with my whole life, the whole concept around money and this and that. And listen, I understand you need it to survive, and I do too. But I don't want you to be in a situation where you are in the throes of repressed memories surfacing and not knowing what to do, and overwhelmed with ego death, and overwhelmed with spiritual emergency, or struggling to lose weight or habits or any of the other things that I have successfully managed to accomplish. And you're like, I don't have $300 in my pocket to pay for somebody through YouTube or wherever else that's offering me assistance to help me get out of a narcissistic situation. I can be here for you. That's what I can do. And by donation, pay what you can afford, what you can reasonably afford, that's not going to steal food off of your family's table so that your children are provided for. And if you have an extra $40 and that's all you have, let's set up. You can contact me in the description below, and let's set up a Zoom call and get something on the books. Obviously, if you can afford more comfortably, everything is appreciated. It helps me with my family. But this is my soul's mission, and I want to be in the service of God, and I want to be in the service of humanity. That is the point of a twin flame journey, is bringing you back to self, union with self. And then once you have accomplished union with self, it's union with mission. It's union with the divine. And that's the energy that I'm sitting in, and I've been in. It's taken me a long time to surrender ego enough to be able to say, listen, this is who I am. This is what I have to offer. And I may not be everybody's cup of tea. I swear, I say things as they are. I'm blunt to the point of fry pans being hit on your head. That's obviously something that's going to resonate with some of you and maybe not with others. But if you are needing guidance and you are needing some support and you want some channeled information to come through for you, intuitive knowledge is stuff that I just know. I just know stuff. I know stuff because I feel it. I'm an empath. I have clairsentience. I have all these gifts that have been given to me, and I want to use them, and I want to use them to help you in the best way that I can. And the best way that I can is, let's set up a Zoom call. As I said, pay what you can afford. Anywhere in the range of something reasonable is very appreciated. And if you're wanting even a card pull, let's do a half an hour Zoom call with a card pull. If that's more your jam and more your type of thing, you want to pull in some of the energies and see what the cards have to say. Or a distance healing. If you want a distance healing, I am a Reiki master. I have tweaked the whole process of how I do distance healings. I am able to connect into the energy and really get a vibe. So that might be something also you might be interested if you're struggling with a lot of health conditions. So that all said, I want you to have a super awesome day, and peace out to you. Oh, and before I disappear, thank you. I can't say thank you enough for all the likes, the subscriptions. The subscriptions are growing greatly, and I'm so close to 1,000. It's like I can almost taste it. And I'm so close to getting the viewer hours that I need. So please keep watching the videos. There's a wealth of information in all my videos. I apologize for the earlier ones that are unedited, where I say, or, this has been a learning curve for me to be able to get in front of a camera through all the anxiety that I've experienced over the last couple years and give you the messages. So I'm trying my very best to edit the videos and get rid of all the ums and the ahs, keep them shorter and more to the point. And because once I start talking, I could just keep going and going and going like I'm doing now. So get outside, get some sunshine on. Get your able happening. Achieve something today. Purge and release some emotions. You cannot spiritually bypass through the emotions. B, cultivate bliss. And you do that by releasing the old and bringing in the new. L, love the fuck out of yourself. Self-compassion, reparent, reprogram, all of these things. And E, exercise. Get your alignment on. Get out walking in perfect mountain pose. Come on, get those shoulders back. And then go home and do a little bit of yin yoga. And bonus, get some trigger point therapy in to help release, because you are able. So again, love you.